Hello Rebel and welcome back to my life. So I'm going to wrap up the little video series that we've been doing the last few Fridays, at least for now, and give you a quick synopsis of my book Rebel Yell. Rebel Yell is my only non-genre book I've written so far to date. It is not sci-fi or fantasy at all. It is just a book. It's what's generally referred to as literary fiction because it deals with modern times, and it's more about the point behind the story rather than like the gripping plot, although hopefully you do actually enjoy the story as well. Rebel Yell is about an indie rock band of that same name, and specifically about Steve Caverly, the lead singer of the band. Rebel Yell's been practicing and playing together for years, but they've never done a live show or recorded a demo album because Steve doesn't think they're ready. Just before the book begins, his lead singer Tanya convinces him to record some songs and send them into the biggest record label in the world, and as the story opens, much to their surprise, they actually hear back from a producer. The producer calls Steve in and says that he's willing to sign Rebel Yell to a record contract, but first, Steve has to ghostwrite an album for the label's biggest rock band and its lead singer, Haley Savage. After some deliberation, Steve agrees, and so begins his adventure of using his talent and skill to forward somebody else's career in hopes of finally getting a shot at the industry he's always wanted to be a part of. Rebel Yell is blatantly about independent art versus industry art, and as you can imagine, I come down pretty heavily in favor of indie. I wanted to tell a story that was not based on experiences I've had as an author or filmmaker, but drawn from things I'd seen after years of being an independent artist. But because I wanted to achieve some distance from the story, I chose to set it in the music industry instead of one of the industries in which I had worked personally. Because the experiences of independent artists are, to some degree, universal no matter what medium we practice our art in. We all get extended opportunities that seem too good to be true, and sometimes are. No matter whether you're an author or a film director or a singer, you have to ride the line between doing what you love to do the way that you love to do it and doing it in a way that actually allows you to make a living at it. The two aren't mutually exclusive by any means, but finding a way to do both is usually what consumes an artist's thought and energy until they get their big break. It's been more than 2 years since I wrote Rebel Yell, and it's the most difficult book I've ever written, by the way, requiring more than 8 months of really intense work, and yet it might ring even more true to me today than it did when I wrote it. Since then, I've had success, I've been exposed to a slightly more mainstream side of my industry, I've had my personal values and integrity challenged, and I didn't always hold up to the test. Of course, the events in Rebel Yell are nothing like my actual real-life experiences. It's not like I knew what was going to happen to me in advance, after all, but thematically, they sound very, very similar. 2 quick points about Rebel Yell. It is the one book that I am looking forward to making into a movie one day more than anything else. I've always been obsessed with band movies like Almost Famous and That Thing You Do, and my personal favorite, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I'm not even joking. If you don't like that movie, we cannot be friends. More than any book I've written, I see Rebel Yell in my head. I know exactly how every shot looks. I know how I'm going to film each scene. I know where I'm going to film each scene. It's set in many of my favorite spots in Los Angeles, and every location is drawn from a powerful emotional moment that I've had growing up in that city. Fun side note number 2, all of the music in Rebel Yell is based on music by my favorite band, Rise Against. Rise Against is an incredibly poetic band, angry at injustice and dealing with intense societal issues in every song, and they could not be more perfect as a subtext for this story. I hope to use their music in the film one day, and if you're very, very familiar with their discography, you will definitely recognize the songs that I used in my book. I don't use their lyrics, but I rewrote lyrics to some of their most popular songs. When the film does get adapted, I would theoretically want to use the originals, of course. So that's Rebel Yell. It's earnest, it's honest, and in many ways it is still my favorite book that I've ever written. However, it is also my lowest selling book ever. Nightblade sells more copies in a single day than Rebel Yell has sold since I published it. I hope you've enjoyed these little synopsis videos, Rebel. We're done with them for now, but I will make a new one the next time a new book series launches. Thank you so much for watching. Give the video a like if you don't mind, and I will see you on Monday. Bye!